This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hey, Ram, I have a question, man. I'm not sure. I didn't get an assistance on how to get to this point. Maybe after the class, you can help me to log into this kernel or something too. I'm just following up, but
Which
I don't
one
think we have no.
to log into the server?
Yep.
I think you said you had Mac, right?
Yes, that's what I'm using right now.
Okay. So here in Mac, right, on your on your terminal, you should run this command. Okay. So it would be something like this: ssh-i. Okay. The PEM file name. So PEM file can be anything. Okay. So in my case, it is testkey.pem. Okay. And then the username should be ec2-user at the rate of IP address.
Can you copy that and put that in the chat so I can put that in, please?
Yeah. So this should be IP address. Okay.
So just go to my terminal and just put in that first line.
Yeah, that line, but I gave IP address, right? It should be replaced with the IP address that you have for your EC2 instance.
I'm not sure what you're saying, man.
No, no, you have the IP address for your server, right?
Is it the one? Did you give it? Did you give it to us?
No, no, I don't
Or
know. It's your account. You should be knowing there. So just select the EC2 instance, and there you would get a public IP address. Okay, just a minute. I'll show it to you. It'll be something of this sort. Just select this. So this is your console. So select your EC2 instance and you would have the public IP address here. This one, the one which I'm highlighting here. Okay.
okay, so then what do I do with that IP?
You have to just replace it in the command where it says IP address, right? EC2-user at the rate of that IP address, just remove it and then paste it there.
Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, all right.
Okay. Let's get started, guys. So today we'll proceed from where we left over yesterday. So yesterday, we saw these head commands and all. Then we looked at the VI editor and we discussed about the word count command. Okay. So today we'll look into some more commands here. So uh, top command is a command which will return the CPU utilization on the server and various other information too. So here you can see top will tell you the uptime. So this is a part of the uptime here. Okay, so this output you would have seen as part of the uptime. The first one here, the first line, and then the second line is telling you how many tasks are running, or on the whole how many tasks are there. One is running 52 hours sleeping, okay, and zero stopped and zero zombie processes. Okay. And then this line will tell you the CPU utilization. So 0.7% is used or 0.3% is used here, and it's showing that 98.7% is idle. Okay, so that's the CPU utilization that you have. And then the next line shows you the memory utilization. So this server is having just 1 GB of space or 1 GB of memory. So out of which how much is free, how much is used, it's showing that information. And the last line is the swap space utilization. So there's no swap space configured on this. So we need not talk about it. Okay, the last line. And the next set of information that you're viewing here is the processes that are running on this server. Okay, so you have a root user and the process ID is 300 here, and this is the process that's running systemd. Okay, you can see that, and then various other processes are also running, but they are not actually using any CPU on the server. Okay. So, so this is how it will display the output for you. So top command is a pretty important command. It would come in handy in various scenarios. So one would use it on a very frequent basis. Okay. So I'll just press Q and you can come out of it. And then after that, um, you have free hyphen H. So this will return the memory utilization on the server. Okay. And there's the swap space. Okay, so there's the memory utilization and the swap space on the given server. And then after that, you have another command which is SAR. SAR stands for System Analysis Report. So currently, like I just started this server, so it's not capturing the information here. Okay. So generally, SAR will capture the historical information about the CPU utilization on the server. Okay, so it's not captured for some reason, but the purpose of the SAR is that. Okay, so this is one command. Yeah, so these are some basic stuff, okay, which talk about the CPU utilization and memory utilization. And then there's another command called as ps-ef. So this will tell you all the processes that are running on your server here. Okay. So this is the command that is associated with the given process, and this PID is very important. So this PID is the process ID. So every command that you run, even just a small command, let's say like even top command that you run or anything that you run, there'll be a process ID that would be generated for a given command. Okay. It would maybe that process ID may go away immediately, or it may be short-lived one for just a second or so, but it will have a PID associated with it. Okay, that's something that you should know. So the second column is the one which is the PID associated with a given command. And let's say if you are sometimes you would be asked to kill a process. Okay, so kill a process in the sense like that process is running, but you want certain process to be killed immediately. So in that case, kill the PID. Okay, so kill PID number. So whatever number that you will get in the second column, right? That is the PID number associated with a given command. So in this event, what happens is when you run this command will wait for the process to complete, and then it will kill the process slowly. Okay. But if you don't want that, you want an immediate termination of the given process, then you do a kill hyphen 9 the PID. So this will kill the process immediately. Okay, it will immediately send an interrupt signal to kill the given process, and the process will be killed. Okay, so that's the use case of this PID, the kill command here. Okay, so kill command is used to kill a given process. So that's the purpose of it. And apart from this, yeah. So the next thing that we'll look at is the SSH keys. So there are two ways to log in to a session in general. Okay, so one is through the username and password. The other one is the SSH keys. So in both cases, the username is a common thing. Okay, there is no change in the username part. There is no replacement for username part. Only for the password, right? It's either the keys that you can use, or you can use the, I would say, the password. Okay. So how to generate an SSH key for a given user? So the command is ssh-keygen. When you run this, you do an enter. Okay. So here, this is the command which would generate the key here. So the key is generated in the home location of that given user. So in this directory, this is the home location of the given user, right? So in this directory, you generated dot, ls-ladr needs to be run. So you generate a dot SSH file, SSH directory will be created automatically. And then there are two keys which are generated. Okay, so one is the public key, the other one is the private key. So even when I'm logging into the server, I'm using the method of logging in through the SSH keys. So what exactly happens during this process is, here you can see I will click on SSH, and if I go to the advanced settings, I go to this section here, it says use private key, and here I get to select the SSH key. Okay, and here you can see it is showing you the command here to generate the SSH key as well. SSH-keygen -d RSA or DSA. So RSA and DSA are your key generation algorithms. Okay, so those are the algorithms that I use. So here you select your private key. Okay, so in this section, when you log in, right, you select your private key. So what exactly happens during this process is, you provide the private key as an input. Okay, and AWS will put the public key into the server when you're launching it, when the instance is launched. Okay, so in the same directory, AWS will put the public key. So when you provide the private key and the public key is already there in the server, so in that case, it will try to match the public and private key, okay, with some kind of algorithm. And if it finds a match, then it will allow you to log in. If it doesn't find a match, then it will deny the access to the server. Okay. So that's something that will happen. And we'll use this SSH keygen command in various scenarios. So you should understand it thoroughly, because it's a pretty important command. Because so these SSH keys, right, you will come across in various scenarios. Okay, so that's the reason it's important here. So this is the private key that is generated by the command, and the public key is basically ending with the extension .pub. Okay, so here, you generally supply the private key itself, and the public key will be matched with the private key. And if it's a match, then it'll allow you to log in. Okay, that's the general process. All right. So this is the way the SSH keys are generated and used in general to log into a given server. So that's about the SSH keys. And the next thing is about cron tab. So cron tab is a default scheduler in Linux. So let's say if you want to log into a given server, sorry, my bad. If you want to schedule a given, let's say some shell script is there, okay, you have written a script to take a backup of some file on a daily basis. Okay, so when I say backup, in a simple term, it's just copying the file from one location to a different location, just for high available, or basically like just for backup, right? Or just for the DR part, a disaster recovery. Uh, so you're basically maintaining two different copies of the same file in two different locations on the server. Okay, that's all you're doing. So in that case, so you automated that process, okay, rather than logging into the server on a daily basis and then copying that file onto a different location on the same server. Rather than doing all of that, you created a shell script, and then you automated the process to initiate the copy process at certain time on a given day. Okay. Or let's say like every Saturday at 11:30 p.m. you want your file to be copied onto some location on the same server. Okay, that's your intention. Okay, so I don't deny that it can be done manually. Okay, so you can log into the server at 11:30 p.m. at night and then copy it and then log off. Okay, that can be done, but it would be a boring thing to do it on a regular basis, to be honest. So that's the reason, like, you can write these shell scripts and you can schedule them in something called as a cron tab. So this is one small example that I've given, but there are a lot more complicated scripts that I've written for various maintenance tasks or various implementations, let's say like for an application server or database server. So for various activities in those setups, right, you write various cron tab jobs or various shell scripts basically, and then schedule them in your cron tab. Okay. So let's understand how do we schedule it. All right. So the command to view whether there's a cron tab for a given user is cron tab hyphen L. So it says no cron tab for EC2 hyphen user. So which means that the cron tab has not been configured. So this cron tab again is native to a user. So we saw that we created in the last session that we created one user called as U1. Okay. So the cron tab for the U1 user would be different for the cron tab for the EC2 user. Okay. Both will not be the same. Okay. Or I would say cron tab is not global across the server. It's specific to a given user. So that's the reason it says no cron tab for EC2 hyphen user. All right. So currently, like, there's no cron tab configured. So how do we configure a cron tab? So here the command is cron tab hyphen E. So hyphen L refers to listing the cron tab. Hyphen E is to edit the cron tab. So to edit the cron tab, it's similar to the how you edit a file in editor. Okay, you press I, you're on the insert mode. So there is a syntax to defining the schedule. So one is minutes, okay, then hours, then of the week. Okay, month in a given day. Sorry, day in a given month, day of the month. So in a month you may have 30 or 31 days, right? So or on in Feb you will have around 28 days. Okay, and in a leap year you will get 29 days. But depending on like the timeline or like depending on how many days in a month you have. So that's something that you need to specify here, day of the month, and then a month in the year, and then the year, and the last entry that you're looking at is your this one, what do you call day of the week. So this is the schedule that you specify. Okay. So here, let me give an entry. So as I said, you wanted to schedule a script at 11:30 p.m. on Saturday. Okay. So here the syntax would be 30. Okay. So 30 refers to 30 every or 30th minute in a given hour. Okay. 30, 23. 23 refers to your 11 p.m. in your 24-hour clock. And then you give star, and then day of the week. So Monday through Saturday is 0 to 6. Okay. Sorry, not 0 to 6. It would be 1 to 6. So Monday would be 1, then Tuesday 2, Wednesday 3. In that way, till Monday through 6 is represented by 1 to 6. And then Sunday can be 0 or 7. Okay. It can be any one of these numbers. So I'm saying like Saturday, right? So it would be 6 there, and then you define the script location. So let's say under time there's a script called a script one.sh. So that's your script. So you can just define the script, okay, in this fashion. All right. Or let's say if you want some script to run every 2 hours. Okay. So in that case, you do a star, or you can say 00, and then star slash 2. Then you can say star star star. Okay, and then you define the script that you want to run. So temp slash script2.sh. So in this way, you can define your script, and the script will be executed in the given time. All right. Any questions?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again? You're saying that if you want something to run every 2 hours,
Yes.
you do star slash two, and you have the three. Can you explain what those three stars mean, please?
So 3 stars are like you want that to be executed on every day of the month and every month in a year, and then uh, every day of the week. Okay, you are not specific about the days, right? You're only specific about the execution time, that it's basically every 2 hours it has to be executed, and you want to happen or you want that process to happen on a daily basis. So that's the reason I've given star 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 there. Okay, star represents every day or basically everything, you can say. Okay. So you can go through, like, just type in crontab syntax in Google, you will get a lot of examples. So these are some examples that I've given, but if you want more
Uh, uh,
information, right?
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
What did you call the what syntax?
Crontab,
Can you spell that, please? I'm sorry.
Crontab, crontab,
You said CRON.
tab,
You said
tab,
C.
just as in tablet, right? You
Oh,
use,
CRONTAB cron type syntax.
yeah, just type in Google, you will get a lot of examples related to that. Okay, so but the syntax is similar. Like they will also give you the same thing, like minutes, hours, day of the month, but you can refer to various examples there. Okay, so I'm removing the first line here. Whatever first line that you're looking at here, I'll remove that because it's just for the representation of the syntax here. So I'll remove that first line, and then I'll save this file. Okay. Now, after saving this file, the empty cron tab will now have entries in it. So if you do a cron tab hyphen L, you can see that you have two cron tab entries here. Okay, one is script1.sh, script2.sh. So even though the script is not there, it will try to execute it. And if it doesn't find the script, it will just leave it. Okay. So this is how the cron tab entries can be defined. And if you want to remove the cron tab, the command is cron tab hyphen R. Okay, so cron tab hyphen R will remove the given cron tab. Okay, and if you try to run the cron tab hyphen L again, it says no cron tab for the given user, EC2 user here. Okay, so that's the difference. So the next command that we'll look into is the soft link and the hard link. Okay. So here you have so many different files that you're looking at. So let's say if you want to create a soft link for the file f100 txt. Okay. So soft link is nothing but a shortcut for a given file. All right. So to create a soft link, the command is ln-s uh, s dot f100.txt and if you have 100 f100.txt, other way around. Yeah. So it's f100.txt and the target is your soft link. So when I run this command, it will create a soft link for the given file f100.txt. So when I do an lsf and LTR here, you can see that f100.txt is the file for which the soft link is created. So this is your soft link here. Okay. So whatever data that you have in the f100.txt will be available in your soft link as well. Okay, it's a sample data. So now if you try to open the sample data or just open the soft link as well, you would see the same thing. Okay. So if you do an echo and push this data to your f100.txt, okay. Now if you run the command s.f100.txt, so basically when you try to open the file s.f100.txt, you would view the same data. So we added the data to the f100.txt, but it's available in the soft link as well. So soft link is similar to your shortcut to a given file. Okay, that's the purpose of it. And let's say if you want to, or let's consider if the source for your soft link is gone. Okay, so if you deleted the source for the soft link, so the source in this case is f100.txt. So you established a soft link or you created a soft link, and as I said, soft link is a shortcut to a given file. But if you delete the source file, then what happens to the soft link? So if you delete this, then what happens to the soft link? Let's see. So if I do an lsfmltr, you can see it's blinking here as the source is gone. Okay, it turned red. Okay, that's the first thing. And then since the source is gone, it's saying that I don't know the source. Where is the source? It's trying to identify that. And then after that, if you try to access the soft link, right, it is saying that no such file or directory. So this is the error that you get when a given file or directory is not there. Okay. So you are trying to access the file or directory, but the given file or directory is not available in the current directory, or let's say inside root, right? The directory is not there. Okay, the file is not there in a directory, or the directory itself is not present. In that event, you would come across this error, okay, which says no such file or directory. So that's the use case of a soft link. So soft link is basically a pointer to a given file, or it acts as a I would say a shortcut for a given file, but it's if the source is gone, the soft link is dead. Okay, it's no longer available. So that's about the soft link, and the next one is your hard link. So here, if you do ln, and there is so for soft link it's ln-s. For hard link, it's just ln there. Okay, so you should say f7.txt and then h.f7.txt. So you can see h.f7.txt is also created. Okay. So let me put up some data into the f7.txt. So when I do a cat f7.txt here, you can see that the data is there in the f7.txt, but if you try to reference the data or look for the data in the h.f7.txt, you would pretty much find the same data there. Okay. So that's how it would work. So cat h.f7.txt is the file that you have. So here, in case of the hard link, right, the difference between the hard link and the soft link is just a shortcut to a given file, whereas hard link is a backup of a given file. Okay, that's the difference between both of them. So here, when you do or let's say if you try to remove the source, which your f7.txt. So in that case, your file, the hard link that you created, right, it still exists and it is basically accessible as well. Okay. If you look at h.f7.txt, the file is accessible too. Okay. So that's the difference between the soft link and the hard link. So hard link is basically uh, a backup of a given file, and the soft link is a shortcut to a given file. So that's the difference between both of them. So this is pretty much what we have for the soft links and hard links. So soft links can be even created for directories. So if you want to view an example for that, so the command remains the same. There's no difference in the usage of a given command. But here you can see they have created the soft links here. Okay, all these are soft links. So under root it's sbin, but actually this sbin is present under user sbin. Okay, so this sbin is pointing to user sbin that is there. Okay, so that's the use case. So the next thing that we'll look into here is the package management. So just as you install softwares on your Windows machines, in Linux machines also you have to install softwares for various implementations. So what exactly we do in this package management is, so generally they call it as RPMs. Okay, every package related to a given software is termed as RPMs here. So RPM stands for Red Hat Package Manager. Okay. So the traditional process is to download an RPM and then install an RPM. Okay. So but there is a downside for that process because it's a manual process that you're doing in the first place. So generally for a given software, right, there'll be some dependent packages as well. Okay. So if you're well versed with all the dependent packages, then you can go ahead and then download all the packages and then install the dependencies first, and then your actual package should be installed. So until and unless all the dependencies are not installed, your actual package will not get installed there. Okay, that's the or basically you can give it a try as well. So if you don't install all the dependencies, right, the actual package will keep on throwing the error that this dependency is required, this dependency is required. So it will point out all the dependent package names, and then you have to download all of them and install it. So that's the general trade-off. Okay, but all of that is a manual process that you're doing, and it requires some effort to look for the packages because you have to look for the package for the which is compatible with the operating system version. Okay, so let's say if it's Amazon Linux 2, you have to download the package for the Amazon Linux 2 itself, and that to 64-bit Amazon on Linux 2 operating system. So you have to look for the right package, and then only you have to download. If you download something else, it will say that it's incompatible. So that's a manual effort that I'm referring to there. Okay, so you the download part and the install part. So to avoid that situation, right, we have a utility called as yum. Okay, yum stands for Yellow Update Manager. So here there's a directory called as etc. Inside this, there's another directory called as yum.repos.d. So you can see here there are some repo files that are created. So the repo files which are managed by Amazon here are Amazon2-core.repo and there's Amazon2-extras.repo. Okay. The other two repo files are created by me for the other installations of Jenkins and Terraform on this server. Okay. So in these repo files, right, it will have some mirrorless, okay, for various websites, which are basically the FTP sites which hold the packages. So there are two things again in this. Some software owners they are not ready to share their software repos with the operating system owners. Okay. So in that event, you need to go to their the respective software site and then select the operating system as Linux, and there you get to select the right repo for your software download. Okay, so it will allow you to download this .repo file for a given software, and then you have to download that repo software and place it in this directory in this server. So that is under etc yum repository, and then you can use the yum command to install the relevant package. So as I said, like some software providers, they're not comfortable rolling it out to the operating system owners. So they maintain their own repos. Okay, so these repos are all FTP sites where they have a repository for a set of packages. Okay. So mostly the operating system owners manage these repositories, and then they try to store all the like most used I would say packages in these repos. But if the repository is not having the package, right, then you should look out for the package over the internet and then download and install that. Okay, that's the alternate method that you have there. If you don't find a given package in the repo that is already there in this directory here. Okay. So that's the process here, and this mirror list is the one where you would get the packages. Okay. So this is how this repos are configured. So here, if you want to look at the Jenkins .repo file, right, then you can see this is the URL http slash pkg.jenkins.io slash red hat stable. So in this website, Jenkins is storing its packages. So that's the reason we need to download and like create this repo file, and then once the repo file is available under this directory, that's your etc repository. In that event, like when you run the yum command, right, it will pick the package and then it will install the package. So what yum does is it will go through all the repositories that are available under yum repository. Okay, and wherever it finds a match for the given package, it will download that package from that specific repository. Okay, that's how it will go. So let me show you an example here. So sudo yum install tomcat. So here you can see the actual package that you're trying to install is this one. Okay, installing tomcat, and then these are all the dependencies for tomcat. Okay, so just consider if you didn't have this option of yum. Okay, then what you should have been doing. So in that event, you should first thing you should know what packages to download. Okay, that's one big headache. And then apart from the packages, you should then once the package dependencies are downloaded and installed, then you have to install the main package. Okay. But here in case of the yum utility, we have the advantage of like that everything gets installed by itself. Okay, so that's the advantage that we have. So when I give yes here and say enter, it will download everything. Okay, so that's how this would work. Okay, so you can see that the package has been downloaded and installed. All right. And then if you want to see whether the package is available or not, so definitely this command has installed your package. Okay. But let's say in an event, if you want to query whether there is a package is installed or not, this is the command R for RPM. RPM, as I said, is Red Hat Package Manager. So RPM hyphen QA. So Q stands for query, A stands for all. So when you run this command here, it will list all the packages that are there on this given server. Okay. So if you want to know the count, then you do a pipe wc hyphen l. Sorry, there should be a space here. Yeah. Yeah, 517 packages are there on the system. Okay. So among these, if you want to search something related to Tomcat, then you do a grep Tomcat. So it's showing you all the search results for the string Tomcat. So this is the package that got installed. Okay, the second one, right? So in this way, you can search for whether a package is installed on a given machine or not. Okay. So that's how you do a search. And then, if you want to get more information about the package that you have installed, right? So there's a command in yum which will return the output. So you do a sudo yum info. So this will fetch you the information related to the package that has been installed. So that's your Tomcat package here. So this will fetch the information about the Tomcat package. So name of the package is Tomcat, version is 7.2.76, and this is the size that is of the package that has been downloaded and from which repo it has downloaded. It will give you that information as well. And here you have the license information, the software URL, and then the description about the software. So you can fetch the information about every single software by using this yum info command. Okay. And when you're running, okay, 1 second, guys. I want to look something up here. Just a minute, guys. I'm just checking one thing. Okay. So when you remove a package, right, you try to, so it will remove the actual package, but all the dependencies are not removed. Okay, that's something that you should know. But there's a solution around like how to remove the dependencies as well, but which is not enabled by default. But uh, you can enable it if you need it. Okay, so that's something that you can do. So if I try to remove the package, right, the Tomcat package we just installed, so the command is yum remove Tomcat -y. So when you give -y, right, it will not prompt us for confirmation, it will directly remove it. So in this case, you can see it installed so many dependent packages. So if you try to look at this list here, how many packages did it install as dependencies? So over 27 dependent packages were installed. But when you're removing the Tomcat package, right, then it's not removing the dependencies. Okay, it's just removing the actual package and it's coming out. So there's an option which is there to uh, remove the dependencies as well. So, but we need to enable it manually. So currently I'm not doing that. I'm going with the default option, but there's an option to like they say remove the dependencies for a given package as well. Okay. That's something that we can do there. All right. So this is about the package management in your Linux. So any questions here? Anyone? No questions? So the next thing that we'll look at is some commands related to the networking. So if you run the command if config, right, this will tell you like what is the network interfaces that are attached to your server. So E2H0 is the Ethernet card that is attached to your server here, and this is the private IP address that is associated with it. And L0 is a loopback IP address. Okay. So if there are multiple Ethernet cards, so there is a chance that you can have multiple Ethernet cards as well for your given system. So in that case, you would see two network interfaces here. And when you're working with softwares like Docker, right, then in case of Docker, you would see virtual Ethernet available. Okay. So when you create a Docker container, it will create virtual Ethernets, and then each Ethernet is attached to a given server. So to a given container. So that is something that you'd find when you're running Dockers on your given server, okay, or Docker container. So when you provision a Docker container, a virtual Ethernet would be added to your given container. So that virtual Ethernet will be listed here if you create a Docker container. So if config is a command which will return all these things. Okay. And then there are some more networking commands. So you can go through them in the list which I've sent. Okay. So the I hope others have also got it. So Rishi, Madhu, and Shri, did you guys get the material and the recordings?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. Yeah, so that's an exhaustive list of commands there. So like you have one file which says like learn Linux in 5 days, right? So there you have all these commands. Okay, like pretty much whatever I covered, everything you would get it there. Okay, so
Hey, I got
this
a
would,
question, please.
uh-huh.
Um, Considering the fact that I'm new to Linux, I'm not sure if the my other colleagues here are new to Linux as well. What are the main commands that we need to know? And I understand that we have to know some of these commands, but like if you had to sort of have some kind of order priority starting off, what are the main ones that you think we should know and learn? And as we progress, we learn others.
So the main thing would be like user management, file management, and package management. These are the main things. And apart from that, these networking commands, if you know they are, it would be good. Okay. So that would be your order of priority, and even the text editing commands as well. Okay, the V editor, if you should know for that for sure because I'll be creating a lot of files and then editing files, so you should know those two. Okay, anything related to text editing. Okay, so the next command that we'll look into is your tarball. Okay, so the purpose of tarball is to archive a given directory. Okay, so in general, when you look at various software sites, okay, so or let's say like if you got into a website related to some software product, there they'll store these software files in the form of a tarball. Okay, or they'll archive a given software and then they'll store it. Okay, so these tarballs they end with an extension .tar. So it's basically an archive that they create for a directory, and then you can extract that archive and then have a directory created on your server. Okay. So let's understand the process of creating an archive. So if you get into the SDI directory, right, you have these files. Okay. So I'll come out of it. And the purpose of creating a tarball as well is basically like in some websites they don't allow you to upload directories. Okay, they allow you to only upload files. So when you want to upload a directory with some sort of files in it, so the option that you have is to archive a given directory. So when you archive a given directory, it will create a file and then you can upload it, and then if someone wants to download that archive, they can download that, and then they can extract the directory from the archive. Okay, so that's the process that can be followed. So I'll show you both of them. So here the command to create an archive is tar-cpf, and this is the testdir, right, the directory. So testdir.tar and then testdir. So okay, one second, I think it's the other way around. Okay, one second. Why can I can't I open this directory? One second, guys. I'm just checking what's the issue here. The command is correct itself, but for some reason it's throwing this error. One minute, guys. So this is the right syntax here, okay, but for some reason it's throwing the error. So let me change the permissions on this given file. So chmod 777 on testdir, and this is the command. Still, it's throwing it error. What it cannot open. Okay, let me create another directory here. Okay, so now it created the tar here. Okay, so if you do an LSF and LDR, so earlier it was some permission issue that it's throwing, so I logged in as root, and as a root we can pretty much do anything. Okay, so here you can see that I'm able to create the archive. Okay, .tar file. So if I remove the source here, that's your test.dir. So if I delete the file, the directory test.dir, if I do LSF and LDR, so you have the test.dir with you here. Okay. So let's say if I want to extract the directory back from a tarball. So in that case, it's tar hyphen xpf. Okay. So C stands for create, X stands for extract. Okay. And then you give the file name, and this will extract the directory from the file. So here, if you do an LSF and LDR again, you can see that the testdir has been restored. Okay. So in this way, you can create a archive and then upload that archive anywhere. And then if you want to download that archive, then you can download that archive and then extract the directory from a given archive. So that's the process. And one more thing here is that sometimes this command comes in handy in an event where you have to move a file from one server to the other server. Okay. So SCP is the command. SCP stands for secure copy. Okay. Secure copy is the command which will allow you to transfer file from one server to the other server. But again, SCP doesn't support directories. So SCP generally supports files. So in that event as well, if you want to move a directory instead of a file, if you want to move a directory, then in that case you have to archive that directory into a file, and then you can move the file across the server. Okay. So that's another place where this will come in handy. So these are the commands that we have here. So, guys, like this is the end of the Linux part. All right. So from next session onwards, that is tomorrow, we'll talk about this Git. Okay. Git is a source code management repository, so we'll talk about Git from next session onwards. Okay. Any questions? Anything? Yes, no. All right. So I did send you the material, like everything is there, and basically like, there's a lot more information than what I covered in the material which I sent. So practice all the commands, and they've categorized it as under various categories like networking and then file management and stuff. So just go through those and practice them so that you get familiarized with these commands, and it will be helpful for your practice during these DevOps tools. Okay. So that's
Did you say you sent something to us?
Yeah, I sent the recordings, right? Along with that, in the attachment, you have the commands too there.
Is that the one that said learn Linux in 5 days? Is that the one you're referring to, or something else?
Yeah, learn Linux in 5 days. Yeah, that's the one. Yes. Okay. Fine, guys. So let's catch up tomorrow again, and we'll start with Git from tomorrow.